we are developing students for the industry, career technical education, so that they become our replacements.
These young people have chosen this opportunity to get a jump start on their career.
They'll have a better idea about what they want to do and what they're good at by the time they leave high school.
There's some great opportunities for these students that are coming out of the career and technical programs from Henrico County.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Henrico CTE Now. I am Reshawn Garnett, and today we are located inside of the beautiful conference room here inside of Branscome Incorporated, one of, I'm sure, many of their offices. And we are in Ashland, Virginia. I want to say Ashland, Virginia, a little bit northern. Rockville. I always want to call it. It gets pretty close. It gets pretty close, right? The lines get a little blurred, but we are here. We got some guests for you, guys, to listen to and to learn from. But first, I want to remind you, got to always plug Henrico CTE, HenricoCTE.com. Go there, visit, learn about all the programs that we have to offer there. Also visit our social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all at the handle Henrico CTE. And you can also listen to the podcast on your preferred podcast platform. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, well, Apple Podcasts, not Apple Music. I'm not singing on here, guys. Trust me, you do not want to hear your boy sing on this show here.
I don't know, Kristian, you want to hear? Maybe a few bars.
Well, you know what? If the guest request, you know what I mean? I am a guest in here, so maybe I will sing. Do some karaoke, maybe some Billie Eilish or something like that. There you go. But no, guys, check us out. Don't worry, there will be no singing on the show for me at least. But make sure you check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all at the handle, again, Henrico CTE. Learn about all the wonderful things that we have going on inside of Henrico CTE, and you might see some footage of yourself. We just got some excellent video up not too long ago from our summer Polytech program, where students from middle school age and even the high school age get a chance to try out some of our ACE Center program. So check that out. You might see yourself, you might see your friends. So that's all at HenricoCTE.com and the handle Henrico CTE on all social media platforms. Pretty much we're on every single one. All right, guys, now time for your feature presentation. You guys come here to listen to me speak, right? You came here to listen to me speak in the form of questions to people who know a little bit more about the industry than I do. Today, I have with me Mr. Mike Van Sickel and Kristian. And Kristian, a former student here with us. Kristian, what are you doing now here with Branscome? Now, came out of what program?
So
and
I came out of the carpentry program in Highland Springs.
Okay.
But my main school was Douglas Freeman.
Okay, yeah. So Freeman was your home school, guys. If you're not familiar with how the ACE Centers work, they have a home school, and then they visit us for now a full day. And it's kind of on and off. Was it like that with you guys? You guys were half a day, right?
Half a day. So my junior year was in the mornings, and my senior year was in the afternoons.
All right. So what is your position here with Branscome?
It's apprentice.
Okay.
So mechanic apprentice is what it is.
Mechanic apprentice. We'll dive into the details of that a little later into the show. All right, Mr. Mike Van Sickel, you have a pretty cool title. What's that title, and what's it mean? If you
Some days it's cool.
Some days it's cool. It depends on the day, right? A lot of responsibility, but what's that title, and what does that mean for the people who are listening?
Right, so Branscome is part of the Colas companies. And the Colas is a multinational organization. Its main focus, its main core business is heavy infrastructure work. And I'm the regional vice president for Branscome Richmond.
Okay. And when you said regional vice president, what does that mean in particular?
So the Richmond region is comprised of asphalt operations, sand and gravel operations, grading operations, trucking. This region's about a 75-mile radius around the city of Richmond. So we get not quite out to Charlottesville, not quite to Fredericksburg, and then down into like Charles City, and that encompasses this region. Okay,
cool. So you guys are like all around the actual city of Richmond. Is that what you're saying from what I'm understanding?
That's correct. And so we're doing some J.R. Tucker High School. Awesome. We're doing all the site work out there for that, and they're getting ready to open that up here in another 4 weeks or so. Route 10 widening, the big Carvana development out off of Woods Edge. We're involved in that as well. Anytime there's lots of dirt or a lot of material or lots of asphalt, we're trying to get in the mix.
Yeah, trying to get in the mix, and I see what you did there in the mix. With did you do that on purpose?
No, but it made me sound really cool.
Yeah,
So
it sounded all right.
Mike should have definitely taken. You should have taken credit for that one right there.
Oh, yeah.
I should have.
Yeah, you should have definitely done that.
I won't let it go.
And Kristian, so you are an apprentice, and just talk to us a little bit about your day to day. How does it work for you, man? Like you get here, and what happens?
So get here at 6 in the morning, and the first thing we always have a safety meeting with Mike Miles, my foreman.
Shop foreman.
Shop foreman, yeah.
Shop manager.
And Peyton Dunleavy, the other one. And from that, he'll put me on, say, just cleaning the machine to maybe tearing it down.
What's your favorite part? Tearing it down, of course, right?
Yeah, putting it back together kind of sucks sometimes. But we do have books and stuff to read and manuals on how to put it back. So it's not that bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, man. So I'm going to make you take a little bit of a walk down memory lane. See, if you guys are longtime fans of Henrico CTE, you might have seen Kristian in the video. I think it was our second sign-in day that we ever did prior to the pandemic happening. And I actually got a chance to sit down and interview him after he actually signed with Branscome. And if you guys don't know who Branscome was when you were watching it, you may not remember, but you remember once I mentioned this, you guys were all in those sharp white polos with the really cool blue hard hats. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that was a good look right there. That was a well put together look, and I noticed a lot of media outlets use that picture in particular when talking about.
I think we were on the cover of the book.
But I'm saying all that to ask you, what was it like, man, being in carpentry, man? If you can recall, give us a little bit of a review. How well did we do to kind of help you in what you're doing here today?
So carpentry really doesn't come into play too much where I work now.
Right.
But it did help me out. I was working with my dad at the time in high school, and that's what he did, carpentry and demolition. So taking the classes there kind of set me up to sort of figure out what I liked, what I didn't like about it. And I figured maybe I should do what my hobby is, trying to be a mechanic. Why don't I maybe do that as a career? And the opportunity came up that Branscome went to Highland Springs, and they asked around if they wanted, a lab apprentice.
Yeah. Okay. Quality control.
Yeah, quality control. And I asked my teacher, I was like, well, do they have anything else? And I think he asked somebody over here. I said, yeah, they got a mechanic position. I said, you know what? I think I'm going to try this out.
You said that sounds like something I'd like to do, right?
Yeah, because I already had a little bit of tools piled up just from working on cars, and I was working at my dad's.
Wait, so you did carpentry while you were working on cars? Wait, so hold on.
So I did carpentry, like say after school I'd go with my dad and work a couple hours.
Kristian is the man with the hands, guys, if you didn't know that right now.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember all the on centers and the measurements and everything I got to do. So I was doing carpentry after school with my dad, and on the weekends I would work at Advance Auto Parts.
Okay.
So I was doing a little bit of the car stuff and the building houses and everything. And once they told me, they do have a mechanic apprentice program, and you go to J. Sargent, you take the classes over there, and they'll pay for it. I said, you know what? I'll do that. So I interviewed with, I think it was Kim and Oscar.
Yep.
And I guess they liked me enough to put me on the team.
Hey, and here you are.
Yeah.
You're still around, so that's also a very, very good time.
Yeah.
But no, seriously though, Kristian, I'm glad to see that you were able to find your fit, as it were. And now let's get back to you, Mr. Mike. Talk to us about your career path, man. How did you get to where you are? And, maybe give us the Spark Notes version, you know what I'm saying? I know Kristian just came out of high school, but, some folks got a little bit of a longer resume.
Yeah.
So if you can give me the Spark Notes version, that'd be awesome.
So I've been in the industry for just over 25 years now. I'm from I call like the Baltimore area home. And
okay.
Yeah, so I was not looking to go into construction. I was actually bartending and putting myself through college doing that.
Bartending, Branscome,
Yeah, right.
You got the B in there. You can make that relation.
Right. So and a gentleman that worked with me went into the industry. We had a mutual acquaintance, and he'd hired him, and he said, look, we're starting this similar apprenticeship program, right? People that, I had a business background. I didn't have a civil engineering degree or anything like that. And his at the time, his name was Bill Dugan. He was saying that, I've got plenty of engineers, but I need people with different backgrounds. So we'll bring you into the industry for a 2-year period, and we'll teach you everything you need to know.
So he didn't really sounded like, I'm sorry to cut you off, he sounded like more of a people person, or somebody who would be able to, I guess, speak the vernacular, you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
And everyday person.
Well, and I tell people lots of the times, especially if you have a business background or something, construction's, it's just learning the language of the tribe, right? So it's contracts, it's receivables, payables, organizational behavior, all of that stuff. But it's a different language, right? So if you have a background in business or something else, you can come into the industry. You just got to learn the language of the tribe, right? And so he brought us in, spent 2 years, did a bunch of different things with them, got to travel quite a bit. It was also a multinational company. And then wound up in Virginia, went to work with Branscome for about 8 years. I left, and then went on the vertical side, so building construction.
Okay. So not flattening things, but building things.
Building things up, right? Once the flattening's done, we keep going up. So got to do some really cool projects. Worked on the indoor basketball practice facility at VCU.
Oh, cool.
With a company called Bart Mao. That's actually where I met Mac.
Yeah.
And really was impressed by his program. I was involved in their foundation, the company I was with at the time, and we put on some events with the Richmond Flying Squirrels and the Raceway, and Bickmeyer and Parney were a big part of that. And the money we raised on those events, we gave back to programs like the Henrico County CTE program.
I think I remember that was actually one of the first stories I got to cover when I first got there.
Yeah, you kind of look familiar.
Yeah, I was actually around and got a chance to. You had that big old check with looking really cool.
Yeah. So
we appreciate that, by the way.
Yeah. Big checks make people happy.
Yeah,
right?
it does usually. It would make me happy.
Yeah. So, but all that aside, we really believed in the program and what you guys are doing, and there's just a need in this industry to bring young people in, and you said this in the beginning. I think lots of times people don't really, one, they're not familiar with the industry, and two, they don't really understand the path to get to where they want to go. Right. So we spent, when I came back to Branscome 4 years ago, I wanted to bring that relationship I already had with the CTE program and start an apprenticeship program here. So that's kind of where we are today.
That is awesome. And you mentioned people not having that information about what's out there and, what they can aspire for. Because if you don't know what's out there, you're not going to be able to reach for it, right? You're not going to even look in that direction. So on that topic, what is Branscome? We hear paving, you hinted on it, but what does Branscome do?
So kind of start to finish, what we do is we do a lot of grading work, right? So what is grading work? It's pretty much everything before the buildings go up. So we'll the plans will come in, we'll work with owners or general contractors, and we'll take a set of plans, we'll go through the plans, we'll put together a proposal for that. If we're lucky or lots of times we like to negotiate. We have relationships with different design firms where we'll budget jobs. If it turns into a real job, we'll move forward with it. And then, Kristian and his department are a big part of getting the right equipment onto the job, servicing the equipment, fueling the equipment, maintaining the equipment while we're working. But, we're pushing dirt, we're digging holes to put pipe in the ground. We're placing a lot of materials, stone. And then, we'll produce the asphalt at the plants. Like you mentioned earlier, we have a quality control lab that oversees that whole process. Truck it to the jobs and put it down. All
right. Sounds fairly simple, but somehow I feel like it's a little bit more complicated than that. And to that, Kristian, I want to talk to you a little bit about, more about what you do. What kind of equipment are you seeing on the day-to-day? Mike mentioned that they have equipment they bring out, and I'm sure you need all kinds of technology to get a project done and all. So, Kristian, what kind of stuff are you working with on the day-to-day?
So day-to-day, it's pretty much everything. It all starts with the truck and the trailer that move the machine to get to the job. You got to make sure that thing stays serviced, oil changes, tire pressures are right, the brakes are working good, because if that's not, then it's not going to move. Same thing with the trailer. And like in the shop working on things, it's also maintenance, cutting edges on the buckets on dozers, excavators, skid steers, making sure all that is squared away. And we have another mechanic here that takes care of more heavy duty things, engine work and fuel systems and stuff, which
You think you want to go that route maybe?
Yeah.
Heavy duty eventually?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I tell you, he's becoming quite a welder too.
Is he? Is he good? Is he welding?
Yeah, I wasn't going to talk about that. They still kind of
No, he's bringing it up. No. It's okay. It's all audio. Nobody can see it. No.
So the welding, I don't do a whole lot of it. But in school, I have dabbled in a little bit of it, and I've asked Mike if he can let me work
Mike's the shop manager.
Yeah, Mike's the shop manager. I've asked him if I can work on a couple
Mike,
things.
shop manager Mike.
Yeah. A lot of people named Mike around here.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a common name,
We got a joke going on. I don't know if y'all know about it.
Mike and Mike, is an ESPN show. And ironically enough, the other guy that hosts the show's name is Mike. So it's a lot of Mike's floating around here.
Yeah, it's a lot of Mikes.
Yeah.
But other than that, in the job, it's also making sure that the machine stays running, because they all ran hard, and sometimes you do have failures where tracks will loosen, or maybe a fuel line bust, or hydraulic, which is a big part of the machines, bursts. So we have to go and replace that. Pick up parts is mostly what I do sometimes. Some days I'm out in the field and changing things too.
All right.
So it's a little bit of everything. We stay busy.
You mentioned the school aspect, and from what I understand, Mike, you guys are handling that aspect to a certain degree for him.
Yeah, one of the things I don't, getting back to people not really understanding the opportunities that are out there is, I like to talk with parents when I have the opportunity and explain to them, you can never take learning a trade away from someone, right?
Right, you can't.
And I don't want to downplay college. I mean, I've got an undergraduate and a master's degree, but
I just got the undergraduate part. I don't know if I'm going for the master's yet.
Go do it.
You said do it. Might as well, right?
Do it while you can. But what I like to tell parents all the time is, like, especially if you don't know what direction you want to go learn a trade, right? And that doesn't mean you can't go to college. You may decide not to. You may decide to. But in our case, as part of our program, we're going to pay for that, right? So especially if you don't know how you're going to pay for college, instead of taking out a bunch of loans.
Yeah, don't want to do that.
You don't know what direction you're going. You get out 4 years later, you owe a bunch of money, and you're still looking for something, right? And what I tell these parents and these kids lots of times is, like, if you're looking for something, come here. You're going to get exposed to a lot of different things. We're not going to sit you in a corner just doing the same thing. We're going to try to figure out what direction you want to go. And then, in terms of the apprenticeship program, we're paying for the 2-year college. And if Kristian decides he wants to go back for the additional 2 to get his bachelor's, we'll pay for that also.
So he's starting here as an apprentice. After 2 years, what does that eventually make you, Kristian?
So I haven't really talked too much about that with them.
Just trying to get a gauge for, like, the path. You know what I mean? So how does that work, Mike? Maybe you'll be able to.
Yeah, we'll bring him in as like a junior mechanic.
Okay.
Once he's done with the program, and he'll stay in the shop and continue to his growth path there, and we'll look for other opportunities within the organization as he advances with his knowledge.
Okay, that's wonderful. So let's actually use that to talk a little bit about different jobs inside of the shop or surrounding the industry that Branscome works in, inside of the paving industry. What kind of opportunities are out there for students who are coming out of high school, or maybe for students who do want to come do the apprenticeship and then maybe get 2 more years and maybe even eventually work to that bachelor's?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're constantly looking to bring people into the company. You can go through the shop. That's kind of a very well-defined path. We have manufacturing facilities, so asphalt plants. So learning to be a plant operator or working through the quality control that Kristian brought up. We have labs that do the testing and do the mix designs and everything, and we've had a couple apprentices come through that path. We'd like to move those guys around a little bit, so you may be working with one of the paving crews for a year. You may be working at the quality control lab for a year, and then you're working at a plant for a year. And what we find is it gives you kind of a well-rounded understanding of everything that's involved.
I mean, you really do see like every aspect of it at that point, right? So,
absolutely.
And that's the goal, I'm sure, when you guys are trying to.
So that's the asphalt. Then on the grading side is very similar. So you may come in as like a laborer, and then a skilled laborer, then an operator, and there's different levels of operator, the types of equipment you're going to run based on your skill set. And then you can move into like a lead man, a foreman, assistant superintendent. And the foreman, assistant superintendent, they come with vehicles, you can get up in the $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 range in terms of salary in a 10-year period, so it's it's a real opportunity for people to take advantage of it, like Kristian, and really just grind and put the time and effort in.
Absolutely. So Kristian, where would you ideally like to end up? I mean, excellent start, getting your school paid for. Mm-hmm. Ideally, where would you like to end up, man?
So I haven't really thought about it a whole lot.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
Over here, Mike.
Yeah, putting me on the spot a little bit. No,
go ahead.
That's perfect. You want my job?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm okay. Well,
Mike, I'm beginning to think your job's stressful or something, man. For some reason, I'm getting that idea.
I tell you what makes it not stressful is seeing individuals like Kristian. It really does. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's all the stress that comes with it, but seeing people like Kristian really take advantage of the opportunity, that's what makes it all worth it. It really does.
Okay. All right. Now back to grilling Kristian. Okay, man. So where are we going, man? Where are we going? 2 years? Where are we going after that 2 years? You think you're going to try,
In 2 years, I've learned a lot. With the company putting me on with the mechanics, running in the trucks with them, and now I drive a truck every now and then with all my tools in it. I realize I do like that, and I want to keep doing it, learn a lot more, learn more about, rebuilding engines and whatnot. And I don't think I'll leave Branscome for a while. Yeah. I don't think I will. They've treated me really good.
Good.
I really appreciate the opportunity they gave me when I first started here. I didn't know anything. I just knew how to put two boards together, glue them, and throw a couple nails in, and you had a house.
Yeah.
And now it's a lot different,
Yeah, I mean, you got yellow iron, right? So like the grading equipment, then you've got the paving equipment, which is kind of unique to itself.
Yeah, that's a big headache.
It is, and then there's all kinds of schools and training and certifications still that we're, going to push them to get through. So I'd like to see you, in a mechanic's truck in the next couple of years, and then, there's always the opportunity to move up into like a, assistant shop foreman position, and we like having them here too. So,
I can tell.
It's mutual.
I can tell. What were you saying, Kristian? Go ahead.
Yeah, like going back to the classes where almost like manufacturer specific classes. I think I've been to one. Was the CAT school.
Yep.
I think about a year and a half ago, and I really liked that. The manufacturer showed not really the usability, but how to maintain their machines, how to take care of them in a way that they will last longer, and then I can implement that here, PM. So all the maintenance stuff they showed you, and filters and whatnot, how to properly install them, and that's what I needed to learn here. That was also something I can use.
Kristian, it's kind of cool to see like how passionate you are about the inner workings of vehicles, man. You can just hear it by just talking to them about it, and to think all this came up by way of CTE, by way of eventually signing day. And I can't let you guys go without talking about signing day. All right, Kristian, I mentioned earlier in the program, you had an opportunity to participate in signing day. If you can think back, what was that like, man? What was it like participating in signing day, and why are events like that important, you think?
It was pretty crazy. I didn't expect that many people to be there, that many cameras and lights. I don't do.
Well, hey, I'm gonna tell you. You tell parents and guardians their kids are doing something great, they will show up. Yeah. And we saw a lot of happy parents.
I appreciated that the people I grew up with in school, from 9th grade to 12th grade and graduating, the teachers were there, all cheering us on. I liked it though. It was interesting. I don't like doing the same thing. Just staying in one room and just looking at a screen.
Well, it sounds like you're getting plenty of variety in this job.
Yeah, that's what I like.
But let's talk about why do you think something like that is important? Why is an event like that important to have? I guess from the aspect of maybe drawing more interest from other students, or
so as a graduated high school student, some kids don't know what they want to do, and the CTE program helped out. I know, at least for me, it was to sort of realize that maybe carpentry wasn't my thing. Maybe it was doing the mechanic work. And I have friends that did auto body, and now they're doing hardscapes. So they realized some things they didn't like, but other ones, like the mechanic program that they have at Hermitage.
Yeah.
I had a friend go there. And
you talking about precision machining, or are we talking about automotive?
Yeah,
Okay,
automotive. Yeah, auto tech. He was in that one, and he's still doing it. He's making good change. So, you do realize there what you like and what you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, I think that helped out a lot.
Yeah, it gives you opportunity to try a whole bunch of different things, and really those skills, I think some of them are even transferable to one another, right? Those certain hands-on components. I mean, am I right in saying that, though, Mike?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's and to me, it's just work ethic too, right? Like
right.
There's the tangible skills that you're learning, but you're also learning how to work with other people, take direction, time management. I mean, there's softer skills that I think a lot of these individuals that come into the program hopefully are getting out of it, that I see. And I love the signing day. Mac, when he mentioned it to me, I was like, this is fantastic. I mean, what it did is I think it puts a light on the program, obviously, but it really creates a commitment between the employers and the individuals they're bringing into their business. And I think that's important, and I think they should be recognized for that. I mean, these kids are coming in and taking a big step in their development, and having a physically sign a commitment to that it's a big thing. So
and Branscome has been consistent in its support of signing day in particular. So why do you guys think it, and you hinted at it, but I want you to expand on it, why do you guys think it's important, to even partner with a high school program?
Well, there was a real lack of attention on getting people into the trades for a long period of time. Most of our best operators right now are in their late 60s, early 60s. And then there's like this, where we just, as a society, took our eye off the prize when it came to teaching these skills. So there's a huge demand in the industry right now. And, you see that in the signing day. I mean, my favorite story from the first signing day, it was like a Saturday night after the signing day, and I'm sitting there and I start getting all these texts. And Mike Rowe had posted,
He did.
And it was our guys,
Yep, it was.
talking about the need for more programs like this. And, that's when it blew up. I mean, we had people on, I think, the Good Morning America and Fox and Friends, and like all these national.
Fox and Friends, a whole bunch of national news.
Yeah, it was great, right?
Picked it
was
up.
Great. So, and it just, I think it showed that there's a real need in the industry, and there's a real want for the industry to support these programs. And lots of times, we're willing to throw money at things, but to me, which is nice, big checks are nice, right?
Yeah, big checks are always nice, right?
but there also has to be a commitment to bringing people into your organization and putting them with individuals within that organization that can guide them, right? And really help develop them over a period of time.
And I think Kristian is proof enough, right? I mean, he mentioned how you felt like he really didn't have a decent grasp of what the skills were needed here, but they were able to shepherd you along, as a word, for lack of a better term, and get you up to speed, and you're still learning, it sounds like, new things every day.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely do learn at least one new thing every day. For sure.
Well, and Mike, the shop manager,
he's been doing this for
40 years. Yeah. So I mean, just that skill set and that knowledge set to be able to kind of pass that down is just so important. And if we don't do that, then you just kind of lose it.
Yeah. And, Mike, that's something that we hear here often, especially when we're talking about paving, we're talking about masonry, we're talking about carpentry in particular. We're hearing that people are aging out, right?
Yeah.
People start, and we're not getting that next class of professionals coming up behind them to take those places. So with that in mind, Mike, and I'm going to ask you the same thing, Kristian, what do you think we can do to get parents more excited about CTE and ultimately students more excited about career and technical education programs, and in particular, maybe our hands-on programs?
Yeah, I think you just got to continue to build on what you're already doing. And how we expand that, I think you need the support of the industry, right? So continue to reach out to individuals like myself or our organization and others like it. I think, Mac would be the first to tell you that when he reaches out, the industry at large, right, is very willing to jump in and give you the support that you need.
That's what we've seen so far.
But we don't always know how to do that, so we're really relying heavily on you to kind of organize those efforts and to be able to identify the students. I'll let Kristian answer on how we can promote the industry better to individuals in schools. I'm more than willing to always talk to parents. I think that's a big part of it. But how you make it more exciting, I don't know. What do you think, Kristian?
I come in here with a camera, I get Kristian welding. I think we can make it more exciting that way.
Yeah, definitely talking to the students and explaining to them what gets done from the day to day and the opportunities available. Like, I can get my CDL and, drive a lowboy truck, drive a fuel truck. If the company allowed me to, then that would be an option.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the promise of that and expansion is a good thing for students too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people like me don't like to be stuck at just one place. Parent-wise, I don't know. My parents were pretty relaxed on what I did for work. They just wanted me to have enough money to pay my rent, pay my car.
They wanted you to be able to survive, man.
Say it again?
They wanted you to be able to survive.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted.
And then it's definitely good money. I got 3 trucks, and I gave my mom a car for her birthday in October.
You got what now? 3 trucks, and you gave your mother a car?
Yeah. I gave her a car for her birthday.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's lots of opportunity. And, and I think what I like about the industry is, and you tell me if I'm right here, Kristian, is it's never the same thing every day.
Yeah.
It's not.
Constantly changing.
Right. Yeah. And we're willing as a company to, as you develop with your mechanical skills, if you want to move into other parts of the organization, other divisions within the company, those opportunities are open as well. Or, here again, we're large multinational, so if you wanted to travel anywhere else in the country, you wanted to travel anywhere else in the world that we're doing work, I mean, those opportunities exist.
So, Branscome, you mentioned multinational. Where else is Branscome located? So, if I put you on the spot.
Yeah, so
quiz.
I hope I can answer this.
Where's the list?
Branscome is a Colas company. Mm-hmm. Colas is actually headquartered in Paris, France.
Oh, wow.
And they operate under the Colas flag all over the world, but in the U.S., when they've acquired companies, they've maintained the name of that company.
Okay, gotcha.
Right, so Branscome was acquired in 2002 by Colas, but we have sister companies in South Carolina, North Carolina, California, all through the Midwest, so there's all kinds of opportunity within the organization. And I'll say, I'm giving just a little bit of credit or recognition to the efforts that the Colas group is very, very big on training and development internally, right? So,
okay.
Last year was kind of a down year with COVID.
I think it was a struggle for a little bit.
Right. That in-person training suffered a little bit, but we are, there's all kinds of Colas University, Colas, training for mechanics, plant operators, grading operators, and all those are available not only to Kristian, but anyone we bring into the organization.
That is awesome. Kristian, you want to comment on that a little bit? Yes.
I think maybe off air. I'll ask about the Colas mechanics.
Ask about it. Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. We'll get with Kimberly and make sure you're on the short list.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Deals being made on air now. All right, guys, that's enough of me jabbering on, guys. Thank you guys so much for partnering with Henrico CTE. Kristian, glad to see you are doing wonderful, man.
Glad to see you again.
Hey, glad to see you again.
I was really nervous that first day that you interviewed me.
Were you really nervous?
Yeah, I was. I was having.
You're like a pro now. You're like sitting there all relaxed.
I watched too much Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
too much Joe Rogan. Too much of the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
All right,
Shameless
guys.
Plug for Joe.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for us here on Henrico CTE. Now, I can't let you leave without reminding you to check us out on HenricoCTE.com. All kinds of cool stuff, information about carpentry. Kristian came out of that program, and other ACE Center programs that we offer. Also, we offer programs in middle school programs as well, high school programs outside of the ACE Centers. Just a lot of stuff where you get experience before you get out here into the real world. And in a lot of cases, especially in the cases of the ACE Center, you end up employed, right? That's our goal, to have you guys either enrolled, enlisted, or employed here at Henrico CTE. So you have an idea of where you're going, and you're not spending the night on your mother's couch as soon as you graduate from high school. But we want to make sure you guys know where you're going, and that you guys are able to, what was that, Kristian, have feed yourself, clothe yourself, and have
buy your mom a car,
and buy your mom, and buy your mom a car. All right, guys, that's it for us here. I'm Reshawn Garnett for Mike Van Sickel, for Kristian. This has been Henrico CTE. Now, so long, everyone.